So hello boys and girls, and today topic is gonna be the same. It's gonna be the World Cup of clubs, and now it's time for Group B.
And in Group B we have Atletico Madrid, PSG, Botafogo and Seattle FC.
Yeah, this is much tougher group than the first one because we have, current finalists at this point of the recording of Europe, and Atletico Madrid, who is, top 3 clubs in Spain, and that's also one of the things they got in because of this 4-year ranking, and I can't imagine potentially Barcelona would be a much better fit for this, but okay, Atletico is still good, and these are actually two class representatives of UEFA.
Yeah. So as we are already started talking about Atletico Madrid, and they are first in this group still because it's in an alphabetical order. Let's have a little more talk about this club. So yeah, like you said, Diego Simeone has its own philosophy of how club should be functioning. This Atletico Madrid before Diego Simeone was on a way different planet, we must say, and everything that we know about them today is because Diego Simeone and of course the management who had this long ass plan. They were very close to also win the Champions League many times, but always Real Madrid was the one to take it.
This Ramos goal from corner
in last seconds. That's
literally last kick of the match, and yeah, that happened. Yeah, they were a bit unlucky at some times, and even now, against Real with this penalty shootout and this whole
double
drama,
touch.
was it double touch by Alvarez or something? It's insane. But
yeah, very unlucky in UEFA Champions League. Maybe more out there for them in Club World Cup.
I mean, with all due respect to Botafogo and Seattle,
that's not the level. Yeah.
I think Atletico and especially PSG are way ahead in the different dimension even.
Exactly.
So from Atletico, I would expect for them to qualify easily, actually.
Yeah, with Marcos Llorente and Antoine Griezmann, just these two.
And then Julian Alvarez and
also.
Oblak in goal, and I mean they're a complete team, really. They don't have major weaknesses, and that's enough to be sure that they're gonna actually qualify. And in general, lots of groups aren't that interesting, but actually this one is going to bring us potentially even the best fixture of group stages. PSG Atletico is something that's worthy of a quarterfinals, even maybe semi-finals, and we're going to get that treat in the group stages. So yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to this match, but I would also bet that Atletico Madrid in the group stage won't lose a goal even. With PSG it can be 0-0, and
that's brave. With this attack of PSG, that's a brave prediction, but yeah,
this attack and this defense still with Jan Oblak,
this is gonna be a tough one. Yeah, but
that's why
in the first video I had a brave prediction, and now this one is yours. So yeah, I mean,
welcome.
I'm not gonna say it's impossible. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's a first FIFA World Cup in this bigger format because FIFA wanted to have its own Champions League. Now they have, but
Champions League at home.
Champions League at home. so we can predict some crazy stuff happening, and yeah,
crazy.
And since we also started talking about PSG, so let's just move on with the champions of France, since forever.
Potentially also like champions of Europe, like
And potential, yeah.
maybe even by the time, I mean, probably not. I think this video is gonna come out before the final, but yeah, I mean, potentially the winners of Champions League, and yeah, I mean, they are a unit. Like really, they are scary.
If they will win, is Ousmane Dembele the Golden Ball winner?
Tough question.
With
Tough question.
Yamal, Rafinha.
I still like would say like Yamal or Salah or
Also,
Rafinha.
Yeah.
But really, like Dembele is one of the recovery stories. Like that guy turned his like vibe completely around after he moved to PSG, especially now when he's like the big boss, like probably like he's the biggest star, but he's not playing like when he's not playing selfishly. And in general, like I am impressed by players, but I'm even more impressed by Luis Enrique. Like the guy set up the team perfectly. Like how that team fits and how they complement each other, it's scary. Like from the goalkeeper, like Donnarumma, what he did in the semi-final against Arsenal, that is pure insanity.
And same with Liverpool.
But especially like against Arsenal, like that was like
saved them.
Euro 2020 vibes, literally. Like when he was in such form, now he's doing that. And when you look further into the squad, like PSG has probably the fastest pair of fullbacks, like with Nuno Mendes and Hakimi. And they are also like going forward, a very, very attacking fullbacks. Both of them are. So that's
very
dangerous.
modern football.
Yeah. They have two center backs who completely complement each other. One is like smaller and a bit more technical and on the ball, like with Marquinhos. And like they have Pacho as like a pure enforcer, like a big body guy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And then in the middle you have Kvaratskhelia and mentioned before Dembele.
Yeah, they have them in attack, and
It's a machine.
yeah, and they have also Doué, and they have Barcola. They have these like wingers that can take on any player one-on-one. Literally any player they can take one-on-one, and they have a midfield who is very balanced with Vitinha, João Neves, and Fabian usually in the midfield. They are so good in keeping the ball. Like when I saw them recently, it's pure magic.
That's
like under pressure, they always keep finding each other. But that's also due to idea of how well the wingers move, like Kvaratskhelia now and Dembele and all of them. They're always open. Someone is always open for a pass. And when you lose the ball against them, you're in hell of a lot of trouble.
It's a game over many
They're
times.
so fast.
Counter attacks are like bam, 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 and you are suddenly in 5 seconds. You are suddenly on the opposite penalty box.
They are so fast in the transition. So I mean, it's great for players, but it's like I would even give a lot of credit to the coach, because like
You can see the touch of Luis Enrique there.
what he's doing, this is like pure insanity.
Yeah.
Like this is like they're really scary.
Yeah, and they are one of the favorites to win it all. Also, there.
Depending on again also like with this catch, well, how they will try actually
treat this tournament. Yeah.
because like I think last thing after like a hard season, you wanted to literally 2 weeks after your season ends to go full force again. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but we'll see. I mean,
Maybe Club World Cup should take place just like Qatar World Cup, like November, December.
to be honest, I don't know. There's so many matches now that
Putting even more also like in any time could create like lots of problems and like
Yeah.
injuries.
yeah, so like literally you can't even find a good time for this.
Actually,
like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, but we are both 100% sure that PSG is advancing to the playoffs, and
Yeah.
we will see
if they
later.
take it seriously, at least like 50% serious, that's it.
Even 40% would work. I mean, their biggest rival except Atletico is gonna be Seattle FC, so let's talk about Seattle now.
So when we finish the PSG segment, you said a brave thing that Seattle is gonna be their main rivals.
Yeah, I truly believe in MLS clubs, kinda, and Seattle Sounders is a very tournament-ish club, even though they weren't many times the best club in the Western Conference. In the playoffs, they were eliminating like the favorites many times and winning the finals, even with my favorite club in MLS, which is Toronto FC, and Toronto FC also won against them one time, so it was like
back and forth,
like just flip of a coin. Yet they are very experienced club in some international tournaments, because even though Toronto FC, when played in final of CONCACAF Champions League, they lost in the penalty shootout many years ago since today. But Seattle Sounders is in the FIFA World Cup of the clubs, because they actually did it. They achieved it in 2022, and they won 5-2 in the aggregate against Mexican club, and became the very first MLS club to win CONCACAF Champions League. And their prize is to be in the FIFA Club World Cup and play with one of the best European clubs, and Botafogo, which we're gonna cover also in this episode.
So you have big expectations from Seattle, actually.
I expect them to be kinda black horse in this group, not in the whole tournament, but in this group, and to be like Al Ahly, like a tough cookie. They won't surrender, and they will take their chance, just like they did in CONCACAF Champions League a couple of times, and just like they shocked whole MLS league many times, becoming the MLS champions like many times. Like Seattle is always there to be.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I more preferred Seattle in the 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they'll have their chances for sure. So, who do you expect to lead the way for Seattle?
For now, their biggest star is Albert Rusnak from Slovakia, which they got for free from Real Salt Lake, from Salt Lake City, and he had his time also, like for example in Manchester City. He played almost 40 times in Slovakian national team, and for now he has 5 goals and 3 assists, yeah, and in the MLS. So the
league like just started, so these are all good numbers. And yeah, the last club here is Botafogo, so people would be more familiar with their owner actually, like John Textor, who's owner of Lyon and also partial owner of Crystal Palace. So he's trying to actually like build up something like City has, like with the City group and all of the other teams like Salzburg, we're trying to actually like spread the brand. This is like bit in a different way, because it's not like one name or something like that, but like this multi-club ownership is something that is now taking more and more of effect in the world.
Yeah, and we could, and we would, and we will actually talk more about this with Group D.
Yeah.
So
because it's gonna come with this controversy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Botafogo is a team. I mean, they're also like literally every Brazilian team. Like they're a mixture of like some really young players and some ancient players. So when I tell you that like for Botafogo now you will have players like Alan, who people mostly remember from his time in Napoli, and you have also like Alex Telles. Like
that one I remember
Porto,
more.
former like Manchester United, and also like
That's
he
why, yeah.
went with Ronaldo in Saudi. But yeah, I mean, they also have some younger players, and maybe their best one is Artur. I mean, he's in his 20s and he came back actually. He went for some time in Zenit and like in Russia, and now he's back in Brazil.
In South America.
And actually they sent Luis Enrique in the other way, but like not the coach of PSG, but like spelled differently.
Yeah.
And also they have another great forward, Igor Jesus, and he also had some foreign experience, but this is in Shabab Al Ahly, but in United Arab Emirates, so not like the same prestige. But they have also brought back this year like Jefinho from, accidentally Lyon. I can imagine how that transfer happened. But yeah, I mean, they're interesting team, but they haven't started in Brazilian League all the best, and also in Copa Libertadores. They're kind of hanging on for their dear lives in that competition.
In this season, yeah, but the previous one they actually won the whole Copa Libertadores, and that's why they are here in Club World Cup.
Yeah, and in all honesty, they've been dealt a bad set of cards with PSG and Atletico Madrid. So really, even if they give their best, I really can't see them like
me too.
going through.
Yeah, they could end up with just in a third place in Group B.
Yeah, if they manage to outplay Seattle, but
Yeah. And they are kind of starting to also go through to Copa Sudamericana, which is like Europa League in UEFA standards.
Yeah. So I think they will actually pay more attention to those games than in this one, because this is like kind of a lost cause.
Yeah, this can also happen, but like we said with some other teams, this is also like some opportunity to gain some experience and test yourselves against one of the best teams.
And actually to see how this will look, because this is a new territory for all of the clubs.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the premier edition of this like World Cup, so yeah.
And more just a test of United States as a host for big football tournament.
Yeah, ahead of the World Cup will come in next year.
Yeah. So first place PSG.
Yeah, PSG, Atletico, and then God knows, literally.
Flip of a coin.
Yeah, flip of a coin. But I mean, just pure, let's say, history, I would say, like Botafogo. Like, can't go against Brazilians, I guess.
Okay. So for me, Seattle and then Botafogo, but like goals will
decide.
It's
gonna be close.
Yeah.
But yeah. So guys, thank you for being with us in this episode, and this was Group B of the FIFA World Cup, and next episode is going to be something wild, like Group
C.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? See you there, and thank you.
Like, see you there.
See you there.